We are at CMR International School, an institution that aims to provide the atmosphere in which child accumulates the knowledge and learn to create, developing into an integrated human being to kindle the light of learning with goodness into an ever-changing world. The education system at CMR encapsulates the mission and purpose of the school, where a child develops as the whole child. The school aims to mold and groom today's students to future global citizens who will develop as innovative individuals and leading entrepreneurs. In today's interaction, Suresh Kochatil will be speaking to Mrs. P. Snithija Reddy, Director, Education of CMR International School, a chain of CBSE and SSE schools in Hyderabad with world-class infrastructure. Under Snithija Reddy's able leadership, CMR schools evolved into a group of traditional, innovative, integrated and competitive institutions serving nursery to senior secondary, that is till class 12th. She focuses on basic education for every child of different economic backgrounds, implementing various strategies and bringing all the children on the same platform. Snithija is passionate towards academic research and volunteers for strategies to develop student excellence in curricular and co-curricular activities.
Welcome to Brainfeed EdTalks, powered by Tutoroo Technologies. Education, they say, is a very noble profession. Over the years, that noble profession has blurred. The lines are blurred. Education today has become more of a commercial obligation, business-like, result-oriented, and of course, more and more demands from parents, children, teachers, academic, and of course, the school managements. Between all this are people who are very passionate about the entire thing. Today we have with us one such person, Snithija Reddy, Director Academics of CMR International Schools at Suraram and Shapur in Hyderabad. She is a dentist by profession, of course, and by qualification, and has ventured into schools in this property where we are sitting right now at Suraram. It's turn to ask her various facets about education and how she deals with it. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being there. At the start, let me ask you some very simple and pertinent question. When did CMR International Schools start and how did it start at the present location?
Thank you for being here today with CMR International School, Suraram. Let me introduce myself. This is Snithija Reddy, Director Education, CMR International School, Suraram and Shapur. Both the schools are CBSE schools right now. I'm also associated with SSE schools. CMR International School, Suraram, it has begun in 2010 with basic facilities for education, providing teachers, basic classrooms and all. Over a turn up of 7 to 8 years, then we have bought a big playground, ventilated with world-class infrastructure facilities. We have built a new building in 2017. The school is old, but the building is new with a vast number of resources. The facilities and all. Coming to Suraram, the area, the parents are from different economic backgrounds. So we don't deny any admission. First thing is whoever approaches a school for an admission, we take the child. And I'd say it's our duty to make the child do best in their academics. So without denying any admission, we have started this school of all academic performance to see that, and with affordable fee structure. Our fee structure is very normal. Whenever a parent visits our school, generally they think a big building, so the fee structure may be in the higher range. But as soon as they visit the admission counselor and talk to them, they will be very surprised to hear the fee structure and immediately they respond in a positive way. Every year I make almost 500 admissions. Very proud to say that in the COVID also I have made 452 admissions in last year.
With more than 1,400 students now, and as you said, 2017 you moved into this new premises here in Suraram, which has playgrounds, which has classrooms, which has got even an adult tinkering labs also. Now, the most obvious question to any educationist would be, how different are you from the rest of the schools in the Twin Cities or maybe even in the state of Telangana?
Coming to the education, I feel 5 important things for any institution, especially a school to be a successful one. It's the foremost thing. First thing is the committed teaching faculty. Second thing is the infrastructure and the resources. Third thing is responsible students, cooperative parents, and all the stakeholders. So coming to that, education, the resources, first thing, I specifically focus on the teachers.
How is that? How is that? You said, when we were talking about it before also, you said you specifically focus on teachers. Now, there is a huge demand today for teachers in the first place. Trained teachers, professional teachers, ones who are committed teachers. That's the most important thing. So how do you deal with all this? How did you train them?
Teachers, they come with different mindsets when they approach for a job or something like that. So looking for a passionate teacher in the first interview is very difficult. So like teachers, obviously qualification is a added thing. I mean, as many as qualifications they have, it is very important. But the thing is how passionate they are into that teaching, not looking the teacher job as a 9 to 6 job or something like that. I have to do a job, so I am doing the teaching. So first quality of any teacher should be he or she should be passionate about teaching. Next thing is individual child monitoring is very important as far as I am concerned with that. So every child is unique. So in latent talent, we have to identify each child, and then we have to plan our own strategies of teaching as per the child performance.
With I think 21 children per class, if I'm not wrong, is it right?
Yes, sir, 21 to 25.
You must be able to pay sufficient attention, because it's not like the usual schools where we have 50 to 60 children crammed into a class. When we talk of individual attention to a child, each child comes with different faculties. Some have ADHD, some are very energetic, some are very dull, but there are different skill sets within the children. How is it that you, as a director academics of these two institutions, tell your teachers how to deal with this different classes of students within a single class?
Teachers just don't teach. They facilitate the learning process as far as I have observed. Coming to that, like a child, nowadays teachers should follow learning by doing method of approach. So what we call as experiential learning. So learning by doing is like easy way and the art forms of learning. As now CBSE is more into art integration and other more activity oriented teaching methods. And as well as this, we follow digital methods of learning, like showing some videos or something to make the topic more easier to that. And lot of approaches to teaching, like we understand each child. Suppose for example, a child is good in listening but very poor in speaking. So what we call LSRW, listening, speaking, reading and writing. So the basic form should be in a proper order, and what level they are, we just understand first thing. Accordingly, we focus on that.
Now, in terms of teaching children, the new education policy that we saw that came out in the last few years has been kind of developed each year. It is kind of going reformations. But when you are looking at the future, say 15 years from now or 10 years in a child's life from the time they come into a KG class in the school, how do you tell the teachers to mold them? They're all mentors at the end of the day. You rightly said they're mentors. They're not teachers actually. They're mentors. But how do you think they should bring out the best in children? I mean, are there methodologies that you adopt? Because those methodologies are there in the IB and IGCSE. But CBSE, of course, has been changing over the years. But in terms of your own way of looking at academics, how do you tell the teachers to mold these children into tomorrow's business professionals, leaders or whatnot?
National Education Policy 2020, it was introduced in July last year. Main thing is the implementation of National Educational Policy is very important in educational institutions. So the role of teachers in implementing that phase-wise manner, we have to look into. Just as like a draft a document came and all, it doesn't happen in 1 day or 2 days.
Now, when you look at the pandemic taught us a lot of lessons. Okay, there are two periods, as I always keep saying in every talk of mine, before Corona and after Corona. So the online education, something which you would not have imagined 3 years ago, suddenly was thrust upon the education system. Children were locked up in their homes. The teachers were in their homes. Schools were shut. And online education became the norm. Slowly, as the pandemic wears away and we come back to the normal life, maybe the next academic year will be a full academic year in school. How do you look at the model of learning going forward? Will it be just offline or will you have a hybrid of online and offline?
Due to pandemic, okay, we have no other option other than the online education, because to keep students engaged in the educational process, so we had to look that option. But still, hybrid learning will wave off in a month or two. Hopefully, no other phase comebacks to us. But the thing is, I strongly recommend offline, I mean physical education, because the student and teacher, when they are with each other, a teacher can put more efforts in bringing out good performance with the students. So I suggest the physical mode of teaching.
But then what happens today with parents is also that most of the parents are not able to devote sufficient time for the children to do their homework, for example. Once they come back home, both the parents are working professionals. They find it very difficult to concentrate. So then comes a tuition teacher. Okay. Now we are seeing to a large extent the edtech companies bringing that tuition teacher's role in an online manner with more of videos, interactive animations and all that works. Now when you look at that in terms of what the school is expected to do, are the parents also demanding that the school introduce a lot more technology into education?
Yes, sir. Coming to this, like when both parents are working, parents expect the schools to do put more efforts than them. I mean, put more time in that. In such cases, we have remedial classes separately for students like who are unable to do. So for the slow bloomers, we put a remedial class hours after the school hours. So we engage such students after the school hours in that which subject they are unable to do well. We put a separate sessions for that. Equally, parents support for that because they are not finding time to put in the. Other than this, the edtech companies they're playing a very, very important role. Sitting at home after the school hours, the work is made very easy for them. So some parents think about transport and all to put children after school hours. In that cases, the edtech platforms will play a very important role. The child can do well at sitting at home, I feel.
Now, there are children who have different career options today. Many children are forced to go what their parents want. Many others get into a field which they want to be in. Now, as an educationist yourself here in the school, how do you look at these different forms? Because do you advise children, do you advise parents that, look, this child is cut out for music and not for an IIT, or this child should be a microbiologist and not a doctor? How do you look at these different options? Because a lot of parents put pressure for the typical mental makeup of an IIT or a NEET or nothing.
Especially class 9 to 12 students, we conduct parent orientation programs and student orientation programs regularly as part of career counseling. So we also have the school career counselors also. So in that case, like any student, the career choice depends on parents, their friends, relatives, teachers. Teachers also play a role in choosing a career. So in that cases, I only tell the parents and teachers to advise them, but don't force on any career. We can only advise them or suggest them to take this or that, but we cannot force any student to take, you become a doctor or you become an engineer. So making student interest on the high note, we have to advise them to choose a particular career.
But there must be a lot of pressure on the school, on you, on your teachers for this IIT, JEE, NEET kind of thing. So do you provide specific coaching for that?
Yes, sir. We provide for senior secondary class 11 and 12 students, we provide IIT, NEET, CLAT coaching, CA coaching also. So the thing is, this is done in the regular academic timetable itself. We don't put after school hours. So we plan in the regular timetable. The thing is, apart from the regular academic, I mean CBSE board exam syllabus, whatever is dealt in the regular classes, the same thing will be done in the part of IIT NEET approach kind of thing.
So when you look at the professional education of today, you're training children in a very, very protected environment. But there is a world out there which is very competitive once they get out of the school into college, be it a NEET or IIT or music or fashion technology or whatever you want to call it. Now, when you look at the entire option of the things out there, you as an academic, tell them a path, show them a path and say this is the way to go. But there are many parents who are not really sure of what their child wants to do. Do you prepare your children to face failures in life? Do you tell them that it is okay to fail in your life? Doesn't matter, not academic failures, but general failures in life. Do you prepare them for it? Because quite often I've seen children cannot accept failures. And the result you can see in a lot of other personal problems that arise. So how do you take that?
When we talk to children in particular at home, parents should also discuss the failure journeys along with the success journeys. It's not only you discuss like Sachin Tendulkar become a top cricket man, and not that only the top people, you have to also discuss about the failure journey, so that they put up their mind in both aspects, let it be success or failure. They should be taught like failure is a part of success. So failures are the stepping stones of success. So that thing should be taught at home by parents, in school by teachers. And the other thing is students are very sensitive, and the competition around the world is so high, not like before. So the competitive spirit, for one job there are thousands of people applying for one single job. So they should be made aware of the competitive world in the school itself. As per that, like their way of planning. See, there should be a different planning for a top rank student, and it's like I have to qualify a competitive exam or I have to be top in the competitive exam. So there are two approaches to prepare for any competitive exam. Students who are very serious about it, we can train in one way of approach. Who are just want to qualify and pursue that, whatever it is, the rank is not a concern, that strategy will be totally different, I feel.
Today, many parents want the children also to become entrepreneurs. In fact, many children in India don't really want to be an entrepreneur, they want a job. But slowly and surely, we are seeing unicorns happening in India, we are seeing startups happening in India. Now, almost all the good schools have this Atal Tinkering Labs, which is started by the Union government. Can you describe how that activity happens in your school?
Atal Tinkering Lab, we got a permission in 2020. So in Telangana, only 9 schools got. In Hyderabad, only 2 schools got approval for that. So our school is one of them. I'm very happy to share that. Coming to Atal Tinkering Lab, it was approved by Niti Ayog.
Yes, correct.
So the robotic kind of thing, STEM learning kind of thing. So students will be very excited to enter that lab in that hour, other than the regular classes. So the robotics and the 3D printing, what we have, that is a very great thing I have seen in the last 1 week. We had a science exhibition on Feb 28th. That day we had made a 3D printing models.
Okay.
So it is all CAD-CAM type of thing. So Atal Tinkering Lab is an asset to any school. Children can, their ideas, the innovative things, whatever is there in their mind, they can put into practice by the good mentors in the Atal Tinkering Lab.
In fact, Atal Tinkering Labs is one way of encouraging entrepreneurship also, because many children realize, okay, am I good at robotics? Am I good at artificial intelligence? Am I good at machine learning? Various aspects of the journey that is out there in the world. But as an educational institution, when you look back at your academics itself, when you look back at the school, many parents have expectations which are sky high. Okay, they believe that once we pay the fees, our job is done. It's a job of the school now to take over. Different points in time, you must advise parents, especially during the PTMs and all that look, you also need to stay involved in the entire education process. No, you have to find time for your children. Do you tell them that?
Yes, sir. Even in spite of telling, also some parents will not, they don't attend. But recently, sir, like CBSE has focused on Skill Hub by CBSE schools. So it's like encouraging the skill and the vocational courses for the students. It's not only like engineer or doctor. Along with that, some other vocational courses, if they are having, it would be an employment opportunity to them. Even if they fail to get a NEET rank, student need not worry about it. They will have some other fashion designing and other, like T-Hub, what we have in Hyderabad. It's encouraging all the young professionals to be the entrepreneurs. So that skill thing is also very important, especially 9 to 12 students.
You created a sports infrastructure around the school. One of the reasons why you moved out of the old school premises into this is to have a lot of space for children to play. But in many schools, we have seen in the Twin Cities and even outside Twin Cities and big cities also, there is a premium for space.
Yes, sir.
Children are crammed into commercial buildings with hardly a playground to go around with. We all know PV Sindhu.
Yes.
We all know Sachin Tendulkar, as you rightly said before. But do we encourage our children in schools to take up sports as a profession? Do you think that is happening, or that is sports is only another class? Are in the entire academic class. Yeah, quite often the maths teachers and the science teachers take away that also.
No. To be very frank, sir, our chairman, sir, Reddy, sir, dream school is CMR International School with sports facilities, with classrooms, all the infrastructure, library, all the labs, whatever the labs are all well equipped. So regarding the sports, it is free of cost, sir. We don't charge anything for the students. So who are very specifically focused about any particular sport, they stay after school hours and take particular coaching. So we have tennis, basketball, athletics, skating. Along with that, we also have indoor games, TT, table tennis, caroms, chess, everything. And we do send students to all the competitions outside, whether there are inter-school competitions or national competitions. They brought all around all the shields you can see here. These are all related to sports.
No, actually, when you look at the competition, as you rightly spoke about, sports or otherwise, when the children go to other schools, they can find the new benchmarks there. They find that, look, either I'm equally good or I need to learn something new.
Yes.
In terms of teaching children something beyond academics, for example, writing skills is a big problem today.
Yes.
Children don't know how to write a letter. When we were in school, we were taught letter writing. We were taught précis writing. Now, I'm not sure today's children have seen what an inland letter looks like or what a postcard looks like. The writing skills is something that even I, in my profession, find a huge shortage. There's a huge shortage of talented writers. Do you think schools also need to devote some time to children to make newsletters, to make magazines, so that the children also learn how to write? Do you think that is a good idea?
Yes, sir. I do encourage calligraphy here.
Okay.
So we have a special classes for that, handwriting classes. Along with that, the content part, content writing, magazine editing and all, we do plan a separate team of students, that is a hobby club.
Okay.
So we include in that, and we plan a separate newsletter for school month-wise or...
When you talk of laboratories, when you talk of chemistry lab, we all remember the good old days, even when it comes to dissecting a frog in the biology lab. So those days are gone. Today, everything is animated out there. If you're not allowed to dissect a frog today for all reasons, well known. But as a modern school, when you talk of technology in its kind of all usage across the board, do you think you're really using technology in the school in a different way? You talked about boards, electronic boards, digital boards and various other facilities. But where do you think the technology will go from today, from the present? Is it to make the teacher's life easier, or is it to make teacher's life difficult?
Technology is making a teacher life easier, but still rote method is not applicable to children right now. Like the 21st century skills, what we talk about, to imbibe that skills in children, we have to use some other source of, teaching strategies to imbibe in them. So that technology is playing a role equally along with the regular teacher, but it does not replace a teacher teaching style.
No, but more important, you talked about rote learning. That's one of the bane in India, that our children are taught that these are the mathematics steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Don't try to do anything out of the thing. Okay, same thing goes for other subjects also. Just learn what is there, go replicate it. Don't think. But you look at streams like IB, IGCSE and all that. Those streams having a lot of thinking capabilities. Children are asked to think. They are encouraged to ask questions. Unlike normal classes where any children asking questions is considered a troublemaker. Do you think CBSE, of course, you don't have much of choice, but you can always express that in meetings in your neighborhood areas of school when they meet. Do you think CBSE also has to change over the years? Do we think we should bring new methodologies into learning? Encourage children to start thinking, because that is the way forward, I feel. What is your take on that?
Yes, CBSE, sir, as of now, from past 5 years, it is putting lot of new practices to make child face the competitive world. What do you call art integration? So we have started last 2 years back. So art integrated learning. So you put some form of art, either it is visual art or performing art, in your learning. So you want to make children understand the forms of dances of some state. So they put dances as a part of learning, and then they make the children understand. So art integrated learning, and the technology oriented, like whatever the digital classes I'm talking about. So that thing, they share the content, the particular topic, sharing some videos with live examples. How do children apply in their real life? So that things are also added in that.
You are talking about you personally. You are a doctor by profession, or rather qualification, a dentist by profession. Do you think you ever go back after into that profession again, or you will stick with what you're doing now?
After completing the dentistry, the graduation, I'm just preparing for my post graduation. Meanwhile, my chairman sir is constructing the school. It is nearby. We have a group of medical and engineering colleges.
Correct.
So I'm just looking after the building and all the work, what to be put. And also I just stepped into the education sector. So totally different from the medicine. But still, after coming here, I was the only one in the first year of establishment. So I have made 551 admissions all alone.
Oh, I see.
I was the only one looking, just talking to parents. I learnt myself.
Okay.
There was nobody to tell me talk this, talk that and all. So talking to one parent and the other parent, we will be knowing the pulse, the psychology of parents and all. I learnt that thing, and slowly what to put in the school. So what best practices we have to put in the school, and why should parents choose CMR International School?
And not another school.
Not other school, because there are n number of schools all around with good fee structures, high range fee structures. But why should parents choose my school was my first ambition, first focus to be looked on. Then I have started working on it. So putting the affordable fee structure, main thing is the teachers. So the teachers, whatever the practices they are following, how they are implementing their strategies in the classrooms, how they are taking care of their children. I am very proud to say that all my teachers, I have almost 100 staff here in this branch. Every teacher takes looks after the children as their own children.
Okay.
That my feeling is very important. It's in any organization. I don't want to say it is particularly about school. I also think it is my school, my teachers. So that feeling makes a lot more to work, I feel.
So that also, yeah, that exactly the word. The motivation part is very important. How do you keep them motivated? The teachers.
Of course, teachers, the facilities, what first thing we have to provide all the facilities, the resources, what they are particular about. And the final, last but not the least, the good remunerations, I feel, and pleasant ambience.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that teachers often complain about, the remuneration. But I think over the years, that has been improving. But I think the COVID last 2 years impacted a lot of schools there. As we close this particular conversation that we're having, I want to ask you, what's the future like? What's the future of education? I'm not asking about school per se. Do you think this school system of education, as I talked about earlier, needs a overhaul, needs a change? We should not be looking at learning by rote as a methodology, but more thinking methodologies, more expressive methodologies going forward. What is your take as after the experience of running a school like this?
In future, 21st century skills are going to play a very, very important role. So let it be the problem solving or the critical thinking or the decision making in students. So that thing is going to play a big role. So we are very keenly observing the careers to be coming in the near future.
Thank you very much for the wonderful conversation that we had. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Snithija Reddy, Director Academics at CMR International Schools, heading both the Suraram and Shapur units. She, as I said before, is a dentist by profession, ventured into this school here and stayed on to build up this institution. She answered a whole range of questions about the school, about the education system, teachers, and of course, the students.
Thank you.
As we look forward to the next edition of Brainfeed EdTalks, which are powered by Tutoroo Technologies, we will bring you more such academicians that can tell you what's happening in the world of academics. Thank you for watching.